Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Kashif Boothe podcast. If you're new here, each week I sit down with a guest and we discuss their career so far, the highs, the lows, and what's next for them. Today's episode is a bit different. It's the first of many upcoming episodes with Inspire, which is a community organization based in Southwark in South London. We have Coulter Talby, a senior youth worker at Inspire, who is the creator and came up with all the visionary of the Kashif Boothe podcast and Fam Club Inspiration. Welcome to the show, Coulter.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Coulter. I am the senior youth worker at Inspire. We are a charitable organisation, and we basically supply free youth sessions to the young people in the SE17 area. Today's topic is identity, something that I think is very important, especially in today's society and community. And I really think it's important that the young people learn about identity and culture and just learn about themselves. I hope that's kind of a good kickstart to where we're going. But I'm going to introduce you to some amazing young people. So guys, introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Zaina.
Hi, my name is Iman.
Hi, my name's Francesca.
Hi, I'm Brian Peterson.
Hi, my name is David.
Great. So now we're going to move on to today's topic. Today's topic is about identity. And we really want to talk about identity because if you are a person living in the UK and you have, let's say, immigrant parents or grandparents, or you're being raised within a culture which is different from the UK, sometimes your nationality and cultural identity can get lost while being in Britain. So today we're just going to have a general talk about what culture means to young people today.
I think culture is a way of identifying who you really are as a person, who your parents were, maybe like say if they're immigrant parents, who what your parents did when they were in their home countries, the language that your parents spoke, what they like ate and stuff like that. And it's a way of like, say if you think that you're someone that doesn't have a culture, if you dig deeper into your life, into your parents' life, you can find out something new about yourself, and that could change your life, everything around you.
I think that culture is really important to me, especially because it's helped form who I am as a person. My identity, everything about me kind of edges off my culture, what I grew up with, because I was born in Malaysia, so a lot of that Malaysian culture came and impacted my life, and half my family's Turkish, so a lot of that impacted my life, and like it's made a big impact on who I am as a person. So culture is a lot to me personally.
I believe that culture is just a way of life and it's part of society and it's something that we achieve as a group of people.
I'm not saying that I'm not a big fan of culture, but I just, it didn't come to my mind, it doesn't come to my mind most of the time, what is culture? Because I don't normally think about it, so.
Well, the people who did think about it, is culture a part of your identity?
In my life, culture plays a big role. It's very key in my identity. Because my immigrant parents are from Nigeria, so I have the African genes. So so people see me as very lively and funny, and I think I get that from my parents who are very funny. So it does play a big part in my identity.
Personally, I find finding out about other cultures really quite fascinating. I mean, I'm English by birth and by all my ancestors, but just listening to the vast variety of people, especially into Inspire that we've got, and finding out our differences, but also it's a lot to learn, but also it's very interesting and fun to find out where people come from and how people relate to what I know as normal, and yet
So like as I said before, I come from quite a mixed culture. I have a lot of different cultures in my family. So like for me, culture is definitely a big part, especially when I go to like my home country, and when I'm with my family from different places. We do tend to have a different kind of like attitude with each other depending on where we are. So it's kind of all based off how our culture kind of defines that. So yeah, it's definitely a big part on my identity.
Well, realistically speaking, as you get older, you usually follow other things, and you have a personality where it's part of your identity, and culture is just part of it. But your identity can be a lot of things, and culture is not mainly it, but you still follow that culture because it's something you grew up around or discovered.
I don't think that culture plays a big part of my identity. I'd say that like it plays a small part, but it doesn't play a major part because, like for an example, what I do, like cook, things like that, they're not mainly from my culture side. I love to do different things, so I don't think that just for I don't think that my culture has a big effect on my identity. Um, but there are some particular parts that like have a big play a big part of like my identity, like my religion.
And all of us are like British born to a certain degree or have been in England for a long time. Do any of you identify with being British or more so to your where your parents come from or what your culture is?
I would say that I identify myself to being British if someone asked me that question. Like as you said just now, that most of us were born in Britain or have something to do with Britain. So yeah, I would say that like I would mainly say that I am British.
If I were to be asked what my nationality is or like where I'm from, I wouldn't really say I'm British, even though I do have a British passport. I don't always feel comfortable saying I'm British for some reason. I've always felt that I should be in touch with where my parents are from, and I've always kept that connection. So I wouldn't really say that I'm British when asked.
Well, I would say I'm British because I was born in Britain. So were my parents, grandparents, and their parents. So yeah, I am British.
Well, I was actually born here. However, I was raised by a Turkish mum and Turkish brothers, and I ate Turkish food. I did a lot of things that were really Turkish, so I was considered Turkish. So yeah, I'm Turkish.
When I fill out forms and things like that, and they ask for your ethnicity or things like that, I will say like British. But like when I'm out and about and people was like, where are you from? Like, what's your ethnicity? I would just say I'm Nigerian. But because there are like two sides of it, I think. Because there's one side of it is like, if I say that I'm British, people are gonna look at me like, oh, I don't like accept like my where I come from and things like that. And it's just varies between just all of that and doing what people think and things like that.
And do you guys think it's important to pass down your traditions to like your children, what you've, from like if you're Nigerian, and do you feel like it's important to continue that as you get older and have kids?
I think that is necessary to do that because not only are you passing down what what your identity was, you're also giving them the chance and the opportunity to find even more. Because as time goes on, things change. So whatever your country was before, could possibly change when it comes to your children or your children's children. So yeah, it is good to pass your identity down to your children.
Yeah, I think it's important that wherever you're from, you keep like some traditions that you do, because it represents where your family is originally from, and it remembers how people were, but also moving forward, it gives people an opportunity to express where they're from in an environment where people may not know about it. And it's a learning opportunity for people who don't, but also it's a celebration for people who have grown up with it, and it expresses how they live, and I think it's brilliant.
I think that it's very important to pass down tradition from generations, because I feel like nowadays a lot of culture is like not being shown enough, and people aren't expressing what they are from, where their background is. And it's like culture and tradition are such beautiful things. Not showing them would be a loss. There's so much we can learn from other cultures, even if we don't exactly believe in them or things like that. There is so much we can learn from them that it'd be such a loss not to pass them down.
Like Iman said, yeah, how culture can be passed down. I believe that if I had children, I wouldn't just teach them one thing. I will, like I said at the start, discovery, right? I'll let them learn for themselves, and I'll educate them on what they need to know about each culture.
From my perspective, I think that I would definitely pass down the culture, because mainly because of what my mom would do if I did. That's like the main thing. But I won't always. It's not like I will still like teach them other different cultures, but not teach them at the same time, because I don't know what it's like to be in those other cultures, to have those other cultures and things like that, and how the tradition is. So I won't necessarily teach it to them because I don't know what it's like, but I will still like take them around so they can explore and things like that.
This is a continuation from the previous question, but do you guys think that your family has passed down traditions from your cultures, and do you feel like it's easy to have these traditions, or do you find it quite difficult to integrate them into like today's life and society?
For me, I think my parents have passed down a lot from their culture. And but I also think that they need to pass more down, like help us understand more about their life in Nigeria. Um, but I also think that like um, for parents to pass down culture to their children, it's gonna be helpful for their lives, like when they're older.
I guess my parents have done their best to make me know what my culture is, make me know, to help me with my identity, to help me to know who I am. And I feel like I'm still quite young. I'm almost 15. I still have a lot to learn from my culture and from my parents.
What are the stereotypes that people make about your cultural background?
Actually, many people would think that Nigerians have that um like that original accent, like what are you saying or something like that. And I mean, it's funny, especially for them and maybe the people that they're directing it to. But like the people that they're directing it to, they might just put on a smile for them or laugh because they're in front of them, but deep inside they actually think that, oh, that's not really how every African parent speak. Some of them actually have a good like like other accent, British, you never know. So I think we need to like educate people on like accents or like countries, because what they think initially is not always the right thing that they thought, and we need to just let them know.
Okay, so the biggest stereotype that I hate the most is when somebody brings up jollof rice. I hate that so much. Nigeria is not just about jollof rice. We have plenty of other foods, like even things like I I see people on YouTube trying out few things like that. Like, is it today that you just recognize our culture after all that time you've been saying that we're all about jollof rice? Like, get real. But like also I think that there are plenty of stereotypes. Like, even if I scroll through on TikTok, I see people trying to imitate not even a Nigerian African accent, which I don't think is nice, but they think it will get them. It does get them likes, but I don't think is really like nice. Like, if somebody from somewhere else like tries to do that to you, like, they will probably feel the same way, because it would be like, oh no, that's not how I speak. That's not how everybody in that country speaks. Like, it's just, they take it so, like, it's just not nice. But like, yeah, it's just stereotypes about what we eat, how we talk, and things like that. And one of them is that they say that some of us live in poor conditions, which is not true. Like, it's not true. I see some people saying that some people from these old countries like Nigeria, Sierra Leone, things like that, they don't like live in like good houses and things like that. But if you actually go to the country, you can see those houses are actually beautiful. They look amazing. So it's just, before you start talking about that country, go there. Literally just go on Google. Literally.
To be honest, I'm not very sure of like my own like stereotypes of my own cultures, but I think I completely agree with what David said. Like, people are way too quick to judge something without knowing in depth about a tradition or culture, and like, it's a bit too much to say anything before you know everything.
I think also being British, people think that, oh, we're all posh people. The men wear top hats, the ladies wear corsets, gowns, and high heels. They speak in a very posh way, and they hold their teacup with their fingers sticking out. But that's not the case. Like, we are more advanced than that. We're not just like an early version of humans from the Stone Age. So like, yeah, we have different kinds of people. They're not all white. There's black, there's mixed race, there's Asian. So yeah, we are more diverse than just top hats and high heels and dresses.
Well, I got two sides to this, yeah. So when I tell people in Turkish, yeah, they're like, oh, I like the food there, yeah. They start talking about like the food mainly. That's all I know. But I have no relation to like my British side. Like, people say things about British people. I would just have no relation to like the memes and all that, like unseasoned food and all that. I don't know, like, all my food is seasoned, so like, I don't know. It gets confusing for me because I do have British.
Like, before, I wasn't just talking about like all African people and things like that. People still stereotype like Asian countries and things like that. Like, I was walking with my friends. What's it called? I was walking with my friends home, and after that, he was like, "Oh, he's hungry, that he was going to eat," and we hear some guy at the back say that, "Oh, you want to go and eat frog legs or things like that," and it's like, just because he's from somewhere like China, it doesn't mean that they always eat things like that. Like, you have to get to know them. Literally, that's just something I want to say. Just get to know before you start talking and opening your mouth, because it's just not right. It's just not right. Literally, it doesn't happen with countries just like Nigeria, things like that. It happens with, it even happens in London as well. It happens everywhere. So,
Kashif, what's one stereotype about your culture?
Oh, there's a lot. That we all have dreadlocks. Well, my culture is Jamaican, so a lot of us cultural stereotypes is that we smoke weed, we eat nothing but jerk chicken, we have dreadlocks, we're always trying to marry somebody in the UK to get citizenship. The list goes on. What about you, Moroccan culture? What are some of the stereotypes?
Um, okay, so definitely like getting like a passport, like marrying someone to get a passport, or always being able to speak French or Spanish, which is not the case because I can barely speak my own language. Um, always like, oh, couscous, couscous. I'm like, bro, you don't eat other food, you know?
And if you guys could describe in one word what your culture is, what would it be and why?
If I was to describe my culture in one word, I would say lively. The reason why I chose that word is because, especially when it comes to parties, Nigerians have this fondness of getting everything ready, like looking your best, feeling your best. You get there in a good mood, or if you don't get there in a good mood, you leave there feeling yourself. You feel happy. Also, the food as well. It's um just very um like large and ginormous and stuff like that. And also the clothes, they're blinging. You see people wear gold, you see people wear silver or blue or stuff like that. So it's like colors in one place.
I'll just call it amazing because there are plenty words for my culture. Not my culture. The culture is just not mine. It's like everybody, but it has so many different words for it. But it's amazing. Like what Zainab said. Like the clothes that they wear is, is it looks so good. Um, but I know as I go deeper and deeper and deeper, it gets so much better.
I describe my culture as I'm not sure, like British fish and chips, cups of tea, Great British summer, just classic, and yeah, all that's great about where I live and where I'm from.
One word that I would describe my culture is beautiful, because we do like these cool dances, amazing weddings. We add like these rings to our hand and clothes and all that, and start like dancing. And we also have like colorful clothing, so yeah, it's really awesome. And food.
The word that I would choose to describe my cultures is, well, it's really difficult to pick one word. So to be honest, I'd have to go with colorful, because we love being bright and brilliant and just out there. And I feel like that's with a lot of cultures as well. Everyone likes to show off their culture, and colorful would just be the word for that.
So, last question now. Have you ever felt embarrassed by your culture or how other people perceive your culture?
Um, when you say embarrassed, it's not in that way, but like being embarrassed by other people when they like maybe make fun with quotations, air quotations around that. Like when they make fun of our culture, or like when our parents are there. It's about the people that are in our country. Like currently, there's been a lot going on, especially with the police force that are supposed to protect our country. They are there, beating, abusing, and being very violent to the people of our country, the people that need you, and the government as well. They are very greedy. When it comes to money, they want to take it all. They don't want to use it to. They don't want to invest on the people of their country. And there are millions out there in Nigeria that are suffering because of this. Especially also when it first came to lockdown, like the first lockdown in Nigeria for COVID, um, they didn't want to give anyone food. Those that needed it, they were out there suffering. So it's not like exactly an embarrassment. It's just sadness, and like kind of vexation that I feel.
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. Um, like what Zainab said, scars and how they like the police just beat up the younger people that have money, force them to go to the ATM and just withdraw money and just beat them there. It's just disgusting. Not only disgusting, it's terrifying as well. Just the thought of that happening. Um, there's like some funny things, like like the embarrassment, like what's happening, like why is, because last time she came to my school when I was young, and I didn't expect her to come, and she got like a whole kilo of food for the whole class, and I was just like, oh my gosh, what's she doing here? But like there's some of the others were like, they're still grateful, but yeah, so.
Personally, I've never been embarrassed about my culture. I don't feel there's a reason for me to be embarrassed. I've always loved showing off my culture, wearing the clothes, making it known to people that that is my culture. So I wouldn't personally say that I have been embarrassed in the past. Yeah, just for, I guess, personal reasons. I just don't feel that what people say about my culture, or if they like, if people say stuff, I don't think that that should impact me, because if I show them that my culture is beautiful, amazing, proud, then what is there for them to call out?
I think we need to make it aware to people that you need that we can celebrate our culture wherever we are, especially through these unprecedented times, and that those people that want to disrespect that they should mind their own business, or actually think that they have a culture as well if they believe they do, and they should also express that, and like, not be afraid, and because they're afraid, don't bully others because of it.
Well, I think when it comes to culture as well, I think especially with like the whole Meghan Markle debacle and stuff like that, I feel like the British have a real issue with accepting other cultures which they can't resonate to or relate to. And so, like when you see something new, your first thing is to react, maybe in a positive or negative way. And majority of the time, British react negatively. So I feel like if people just learn how to respect cultures first and then get to know it first to get a better understanding, then I feel like things will be a lot easier. But ignorance is bliss. So people don't really do that. And I think everyone here can really account to that because of us being from multi-diverse cultural backgrounds. And I think it's been great discussing this with you all, because sometimes I feel like people don't give young people a good voice, and they don't feel like they understand what they're saying, but you've proven that today.
I really enjoyed this debate, guys. I do think it is amazing that you guys all came and chose to speak about something so personal. And I think culture is something that should be embraced. Everyone's culture is different, and we may not understand it. So one thing that I would say is just be open-minded when you're learning about new cultures. Could be religion, it could be a language. Always keep an open mind and just be understanding. And I feel like once you're on that level, you will learn to love all these intricate things about culture and about religion and about ways of life. That's what I have to say. Kashif?
No, I feel like you summarized that really well. Thanks, guys, for listening to the first episode of many upcoming episodes with the Fam Club. It is Fam Club, right?
I didn't do the acronym thing in the beginning, so I'll do it now. So guys, Inspire has a session called Fam Club, not like as in fam, but as in film, arts and media, which is also like our family. So that's what Fam Club is. So hopefully we'll be doing more podcasts in the future. I'm going to be really cheeky, and guys, if you do like what to inspire and inspire do. Please follow us on Inspire Youth at Insta and Inspire SC17 on Twitter for like local updates and yada yada yada. And yeah, peace and love, guys. Back at you, Kashif.
Great. I was going to ask you to plug and, share where people can find you. So that's great. So thanks again for listening, guys. Follow me all on social media. I've got a lot. There's Kashif Boothe, the Kashif Boothe podcast, or Kashif Boothe Entertainment. Stay tuned for new episodes coming soon. Bye, guys.